everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the Wellness Exchange. In this episode, we interviewed Dr. Casso from South Texas Health Systems and discussed stress management. We discussed how stress can affect your body and what are some lifestyle changes you can make to improve your quality of life and reduce your stress overall. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Casso. We're going to be talking about stress management and how that can affect our employees' well-being, and hopefully how we can make some lifestyle changes to help our employees manage their stress. So can you start off by defining what stress is and maybe give us an example of a stressor?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for having me. So stress is the way your body reacts to some kind of challenge or demand that you might have. And so stress can be a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing. So stress can be good if you're planning for a wedding or you have a deadline at work, and so stress can help you achieve that goal. But it becomes dangerous when it's a constant stress, a stress that doesn't go away. So if you're worried about that assignment for your job, and then you can't forget about it, and you're constantly in that state of stress. So that would be, I guess, some examples.
Right, awesome. Stress. And generally, who would experience stress? Like you were saying, maybe a bride or an employee at work, but I'm sure it doesn't, specify one specific type of person that can experience it.
Correct, yeah. I mean, we can all experience stress. So, from babies to, adulthood, elderly. So we can all experience stress.
Yeah. And how can that affect our health from having that good stress? Like, would that ever affect our health in a positive or negative way? Or maybe having high levels of, kind of being too stressed out? Like, when does it get too bad, and how can that affect our health?
Yes. So, I mean, if it's a short amount of stress, it's going to be good for you because you're going to be more productive, you're able to accomplish your task, your goals, but it does become a little bit more, it can affect your health if you start having problems where you can't get rid of that stress. And so what's happening is your body's in a flight or fight response. So you have more adrenaline, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up. It starts affecting your focus, so you might not be able to focus. You might have trouble sleeping. It can increase your anxiety levels. It can affect your mood. So definitely, if we have a prolonged state of stress, it's not good for you.
Oh, okay. And how can that, maybe affect some? I would like to elaborate a little more on that, and maybe the specific parts of our body. How can that maybe affect our heart or our brain, or like you were saying, your mental state, your sleep? What are some other ways within the body specifically that can be affected?
Right. So when you have more stress, you can't sleep, that can start affecting your hormone levels. So when we're sleeping, our hormones are supposed to go into the state of decline, especially the cortisol levels. And so if those cortisol levels are elevated, your blood pressure goes up. So your heart has to work harder. And so that can increase your chances for having a heart attack or a stroke. It can also increase your chances for diabetes. So, and then it can affect anxiety. People with already mood disorders, it can make their anxiety worse or their depression worse. So
yeah, that's really important, especially if you already have an existing condition. Yeah, definitely. So how can somebody, say, avoid creating stressful situations around themselves? And I know this may be a little bit more of a, personal type of prescription, I guess. But do you have any tips for maybe avoiding creating those stressful environments? So
first of all, you have to realize that you're stressed, right? A lot of times we don't realize that we're stressed. I see a lot of patients in my practice, and so they'll come in with, I have a headache, or I have a stomach ache, or my muscles hurt. And so we start talking, okay, what's been going on? How are you sleeping? How's work? So first identifying the stressor. What is causing the stress? And then once you identify the stress, it's trying to figure out, okay, is this something that I can do something about? So most of the time we can do something about it. So if it's maybe you're putting too much on your plate, right? Sometimes we say we can do everything. And so taking a step back and saying, well, maybe I can only do so much. And that's going to help relieve the stress. If there's something going on at work that you feel like maybe this is too much, talking to somebody, talking to your employer, or talking to your coworkers. And so trying to figure out, how can I bring my stress level down? Now, sometimes it could be worrying about things that we can't control. And so if that's the case, then realizing, okay, I can't control this, I can't worry about this, so I need to let it go. Regulating your sleep, exercising, making sure you're eating healthy, all of those things can help. Doing some meditation, some relaxation, some exercises like yoga.
So yeah, those are definitely some ways that people can manage their stress, right? So like you're saying, exercising, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, right? All of those are really great ways that people, our employees can kind of tweak maybe their lifestyles to find that balance, of managing work and personal life and, and their stress ultimately, right? So I know you mentioned food. So does what we eat, can that affect our stress levels as well?
Definitely. I mean, especially if you already have diabetes, if you already have high blood pressure. So stress is not only something emotional or physical, but it can be an illness. So if there's diabetes that's uncontrolled, blood pressure, you have a heart attack, those are stressors to your body. And so definitely if you eat the wrong things, then you're going to increase your chance of having worsening of your condition, so that's going to cause more stress to your body. Plus, when you eat unhealthy, you tend to not feel good. So if you're already not feeling well, you're adding that unhealthy diet, so it's going to be more stress on your body.
And definitely, I'm sure, with caffeine levels as well, right? Trying to make sure those stay low. Moderate. So would you say that, maybe technology also plays a role in our stress levels? I know that some of us have, office jobs where we're sitting, for 6-7 hours a day. And other people, may not be sitting down at a computer all day, but may be on their phones or using technology in some way. Would you say that has an impact on stress levels?
Definitely. I mean, technology can be good. We can see how it can help us get things accomplished a lot quicker and faster. But then at the same time, you can also be constantly on, plugged in, what we say, right? Plugged in. And so we do need to take a break from technology. So especially, once you get home from work, if you're on the computer, taking that break, go outdoors, enjoy nature. Plus, if you're constantly feeding yourself with social media, a lot of the stuff in social media can be negative, and it's just going to cause you to be more anxious or more worried. And so definitely there can be some negative effects from that.
Definitely. What would you, recommend for someone who has had, increasingly high levels of stress, let's say at work, and they are wanting to make a positive change in their lives? Where would you kind of start? Let's say, for example, somebody who works at an office job and they, have a lot of stress. Or for example, a lot of our sheriff's deputies and sheriff's constables, they do come under a lot of stress in their line of work. So maybe what would you say would be like a good kind of stepping stone for them to start with that stress management?
I mean, definitely you have to have a balance, so work and fun. So make sure you're having fun. Because if you're not having fun, then that's going to increase your stress levels. You got to enjoy life. So work can be enjoyable, but sometimes we tend to take too much on. So trying to make sure, okay, what do I have to accomplish today? How am I going to accomplish it? And if you know that it's not possible, then try to realize that and say, but I am going to do it this day. So you have a deadline. You're going to get it done. So kind of knowing what are your strengths, how can I get it done, and if you're not able to, well, how are you going to get it done? Have a plan. So always having a plan. And of course, if you feel like it's something that's impossible, or talking to somebody, maybe somebody can give you some guidance of how to accomplish it, how to complete your goals, or maybe you just need help. Sometimes we take on a lot. But then definitely you want to do those other things that we talked about, right? Making sure you're getting your exercise, making sure you're eating healthy, making sure you're getting enough sleep, all of those things, which sometimes that in itself can be a stressor. Sometimes people are like, well, I don't have time to do this. So maybe saying, well, I'm going to focus on one thing. I'm going to focus on eating better. Or I'm going to focus on sleeping better or exercising. So
yeah, and I think a lot of it also is about setting those realistic goals for yourself. I feel like, a lot of times we may set a goal and then it becomes way farther than we thought we could get in a short amount of time. So maybe making sure that whatever goal we set for ourselves for, let's say, like you were saying, getting more sleep or eating, let's say, 1 vegetable per day, adding that into our diet can definitely be a little bit more realistic for goal setting. And I'm sure that also is a stressor for some individuals.
Yes, and so that's why you have to be ready. There's a stress. You have to be ready to make a change because a lot of times we're not ready. And so having that mindset, I'm ready to make a change, and this is what I'm going to do. But yes, setting realistic goals. Okay, so I'm going to eat more vegetables. How are you going to keep track of that you're going to eat vegetables, right? Maybe having a meal plan or something that makes it to where it's easier for you to accomplish those goals.
Definitely. And I think also, just to add on to that, with specifically targeting stress management, if you have like an outlet or something, making sure you schedule that in, even if that's what you have to do, right? Because I feel like sometimes if you, like you were saying with fun, making sure you make time for that. And I'm sure a lot of times, if somebody really enjoys drawing or something and that was like their stress relief, and then now they're just like work, and it's crazy stress, and now they don't have time to draw, which is what they really enjoyed. So I can definitely see even if you have to pencil it into your schedule, right?
Yes,
just
very important. I have to do that myself.
Yes.
So I have
schedule
to
in the fun.
I have to go run on this day, and and I make sure I do it. I mean, sometimes things are going to come up, holidays, activities, and so you also have to not make yourself feel bad for not having that activity that happened that day. Things just happen. So also being compassionate with yourself and saying it's okay. Tomorrow we'll get it done.
Yes, no, definitely. That's great advice. Really great. And I'm sure our employees are going to really benefit from this conversation. I know a lot of them do struggle with stress management, and really I'm sure that finding that balance is going to be something that will benefit them in the future, whether it's balancing it with working out or like drawing or even managing what you eat better, so definitely that would help. So, well, awesome. So as we kind of wrap up this session, is there anything that you would kind of advise our employees on, kind of just as a last summary for maintaining their stress, managing it?
So I get a good way to think about it is being more mindful. So mindfulness is a thing that we don't practice a lot. Mindfulness is being in the moment. So when I'm here talking to you, I'm talking to you, and I'm not thinking about what I have to do when I get out of here or what I didn't do. So enjoy your family when you're having dinner with your family. Try to enjoy the food, experience the food, experience the family interactions, because a lot of times, we don't, and we forget all the good things that are happening to us. So try to focus more on that, being more mindful, and enjoy nature, be present in nature. Even in your work, sometimes we're working, but instead of being present in the job, we're thinking about tomorrow. So we're missing a lot of things. So just practice doing that, and the more you do that, the more your stress level will go down, and you'll have more joy in your life.
Yeah, awesome. That's great advice, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Casso. We really appreciated this talk on stress management, and I'm sure our employees and our viewers are going to really enjoy today's video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that way you are updated on any future health and wellness videos, and as well as any videos that come up for our Wellness Exchange. So thank you so much for watching.